So I am curious about one thing.
Okay, yeah.
From the headlines, and the headline in particular, which I'm sure you're not thrilled about because the words don't quite match it, but Zion Williamson ripped by former teammate.
That's the risk of now doing it. It's crazy. You go on TV, they will fucking twist your shit around a lot. I mean, I went through this with Carson a lot. People were, Carson Wentz, everybody's attacking him. Like, there are things that I could say about Carson that are not positive, but there's also a lot of positive I have to say about Carson. And a couple times, my Carson stuff got pulled out of context. What do you say about Zion? Like, just holistically as a teammate? I know they took hey, he's detached, but what else?
I'm glad you brought up that headline, because a lot of the headlines, I saw the ESPN one, and I'm assuming a lot of the headlines on the aggregate sites were very similar. What I appreciated about the ESPN article, because I work for ESPN, I'm on ESPN 5 times a day. Yeah. What I appreciated about it was that they included pretty much all of my quotes, which I felt were reasonable. The feedback from most people has been reasonable to that. And I want to be clear, and I did a podcast yesterday, and I got asked about it. I'll say this again to you guys. This is not something that I just randomly said on air about Zion Williamson. This was something that I have talked to him about previously. In fact, one time I had talked to him about this in front of the team. Right. So this was something that I had addressed with him. Yes, I could have texted him after I saw that thing with CJ. I don't know that he would have texted me back anyway. But
that's kind of the case in point there.
Yeah, I'm just like, I am rooting for the guy. I think we all are. Yeah. We all, as basketball fans, as sports fans, we want to see greatness, and there is greatness in Zion Williamson. There's things he can do on a basketball court that literally no one else can do.
Right.
But to get to that point, and this goes for any player, and especially talented players like him, the guys that are super elite, there has to be that commitment to your body, your work, your teammates. And that was the quote I think that got lost to me was, when you are a professional athlete in a team sport, you have to be fully invested. And what fully invested means is you're fully invested in your body, you're fully invested in your work, and you're fully invested in your teammates. That is all part of the job description. And that's a lesson for anybody. That's a lesson for anybody.
Especially on a small team. Like in the NBA, it's a tight-knit group, so I would imagine that interpersonal dynamic is very important. There are guys in the NFL who, like, again, to bring something back to Carson, because that's juicy, and we got Philly people probably listening, like, there were some maybe detachment issues there, like socially, but you can get by a little bit more because of the size of the locker room. So, like, people exist in different corners of that thing. But I can imagine in the NBA, it's like very, hey, we got to be tight. The group text has to be popping. We have to be sitting together on the plane. We got to play cards. We got to go out to dinner. Like, and yeah, when CJ McCollum is joining your team, somebody like that, the caliber of that player in that transaction, you got to reach out. Like, you're the future. You're the guy. So I thought it was reasonable. And also, like, what you just said is important. Whenever I criticize somebody on this podcast, for the millions of people that listen to this thing, I have to have been willing to, or have had said that to a teammate. If I'm talking about a teammate, like, I am totally willing to say whatever I say on this podcast to somebody face to face, and probably I already have. So I think that's a dynamic that people lose. It's not like, like guys are just airing shit out.
Right. I mean, and too, it's like the wording too, because I think the implication there was that he's a bad teammate. He wasn't a bad teammate when I was there, and I'm assuming he's not a bad teammate now. The word I used was detached, and you just used that word with Carson as well.
Exactly.
And I can describe, there are times when I felt like he was detached as teammate. And this is not to knock football or any other team sport. Maybe soccer is the most comparable to basketball. But if we look at the major team sports, baseball is an individual sport masquerading as a team sport. Football players have a very specific job to do.
Yeah.
If you don't do that very specific thing on a given play, you will be called out in film. If you don't do it again, you're fucking losing your job.
Yeah.
That is a fact. In basketball, the interpersonal stuff matters so much. There's 5 guys. We're not taking turns taking shots. There's 5 guys, 1 ball. You have to rely on your teammates on both ends of the floor so much. So the communication, the chemistry, the respect, the cooperation, it matters more. I believe this. Not to say it doesn't matter in football, chemistry doesn't matter in football, but it matters more in basketball than any other sport.
And I think that gets lost in the shuffle because you think of it as this like, hey, fuck it, roll the ball out there and play thing. You got 80-something games, this long season. I mean, it's probably a tight-knit locker room. I was wondering, I was a great locker room guy in my time in the NFL. I was wondering if I could be a locker room guy in the NBA. How many boards a game you think I could pull down? Over under 3 if you give me 40 minutes a game.
40 minutes?
Yeah, 40.
Over, I would hope.
Really?
40 minutes a game.
Just chase a couple loose balls down?
Yeah.
And I would definitely be fun on the team playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the detriment of the team.
For the detriment of the team.
That's honestly what I miss the most.
Team playing.
Just the team stuff.
Well, y'all had nice planes, man, and there were fucking 5 people on a jumbo jet.
You land in a city, you get a group and everybody has their own shit. Maybe you got family in a town. I would try to organize dinners, and we did this a lot with the Magic, Clippers. I did it with the Sixers and the Pelicans. Like, you organize these team dinners, and you never expect 15 guys to show up. Like, it's just not possible. Guys have prior obligations or whatever, but you get 7 or 8 guys together, 10 guys together, whatever. I miss that. I miss the bus rides. I miss the team planes. I miss the locker room after a big win on the road. I miss the card games a lot. I miss the card games a lot.
I miss watching the card games. I didn't play Boo-Ray on the plane or anything, but like watching guys lose a bunch of money, it's a great voyeuristic thing, dude.
I'm backtracking under. You're a short 6'3".
Yeah, my arms are kind of short.
Yeah.
Okay.
NBA game under.
Yeah, but my fucking war.
And your purr.
And my purr, bro. All right, well, that's good. We're getting technical. You couldn't take that. All right, so fucking, I miss that stuff too, though, JJ, but when we went on the road, nobody gave us any fucking time. We had curfews. We had to go.
It was different.
So what I miss is like the hotel ballroom. That's fucking lame, but we would all sit around and watch games Saturday nights. There'd be college football on. We'd eat junk food because we know we're going to burn it off the next day. I'm stoned out of my mind on gummies. Like, who knows how many edibles are floating around that hotel ballroom. But guys are just having a great time, getting ready to get the best night's sleep of the week. So I miss that stuff too. Did you enjoy the video? I mean, if you didn't enjoy the video and you're here, like, I don't know what to tell you. Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.